G'day everyone, welcome back to Pete's Investing. Today is May 26, 2023. This is the nat gas price update. For those new to the channel, just quickly revise what we look at in terms of the major trends, and that's looking at the weekly and the daily. And first off, let's look at the weekly. We look at the triple moving average 3, 5 and 60 on the price chart, and we combine that with the CCI 150 moving average 5 and 50, and if they are both aligned, it gives us a bearish signal to the downside or a bullish signal to the upside. And here currently we're in a neutral position because they don't align fully. On the on the daily, the same indicator shows a neutral signal. So we're a bit undecided at the moment, although it was in a slightly bearish momentum in these last few days, middle of May. Now you'll notice, just zooming out a bit, I did draw these support at 2064 and a major resistance at 3050. And zooming in, there was this minor resistance at 2556, and it did actually bounce through that and break to the downside again, and overnight it's broken further to the downside. What we've also got here on the daily, we've got this bullish divergence on the CCI versus a bearish divergence on the price chart. And again, these divergences generally play out, but sometimes they fail. At the moment, this one is still working in terms of meeting the potential reversal to the upside, but notice the CCI is still moving to the upside, although there's a slight retracement to the downside with the last few days. But this moving average is still hovering and moving to the upside versus the CCI, the price chart in this bearish momentum. For this to fail, we need to see the CCI break to the downside, but also we need to see the price break to the downside as well for this divergence to fail. Otherwise, we may see it break to the upside, in which case I've got this potential initial target range. It could go higher, possibly, if this works out, but it may end up initially in this range. And this range is basically the 23 to the 38% retracement of this wider period back there in that Fibonacci retracement. That's on the daily. So again, the daily is in a neutral positioning, looking at the general trading environment. On the hourly, again, I normally trade the lower time frames based on the weekly and the daily. So if they're both aligned, in this case back here when they were aligned short, I would take short positions with these fractal breakouts in the same manner as the CCI and the price chart moving averages. But looking more closely at the hourly, putting aside that trading strategy for a moment, I've also got up here that for the trading strategy, a long position back test running, and this goes back and shows you these little bars which indicate individual entries entered and exited for trades, with the exception of these bulk steps, those two steps. That's the average down of the strategy, where the price goes against you and it adds more positions to the trade until closure. So again, to avoid those average downs or to minimize them, we only trade in the direction of the weekly and the daily. So you can see there during that whole period back here from September 22, there were no long positions to be taken. So basically from September 22, from that period onwards, you would not have taken those trades. In fact, even that little average down trade there, that would have not have been taken because that was in the same period there. So there were no long trades. So again, you would have only taken short trades primarily since then, and that was during the weekly indicator showing there. And there were a couple of, again, from that period there to there more recently, that would have been the only periods you would have taken short trades primarily on the hourly time frame. More closely looking at the hourly, we talked about the daily divergence, and that was that period there. Again, that's just a leftover from the daily. But more closely, something I missed on the last video, there is a divergence currently playing out as well with this on the hourly time frame. So looking at it from there, you can see there's a decline in the CCI versus from that point there, the same period to there. So looking at the same period, there was a decline in the CCI, but the price was moving to the upside, and that's the divergence we look at potentially. So again, these generally work out. You can see here the way you would look at that and a potential trade, and again, I don't trade these necessarily, I look at them as a potential price reversal. You would draw a channel between that high range and bring it to the lowest bar or lowest candle within that little range there. So that would have been the lowest candle. So anything that breaks, so when the price breaks below that channel, which it did there, you would look at placing a trade. And where you would place a potential trade, I would typically pull the recent Fibonacci from that low there to that high. So you could, the initial target would have been the 50% target, and it may go and it's actually gone and bounced off the 61%. So you can see there that little retracement from that divergence has worked out quite nicely. Again, these divergences don't necessarily mean long-term trend reversal. They just generally might mean a little retracement before making further upside if it's going long, or a potential reversal and it retrace to the upside if it's going longer term in a bearish movement. In this case, it's going bullish, and there's a bit of a retracement there. Now, this may continue to the downside, so there's no guarantee it's going to bounce, or it may bounce from here to the upside. But you can see there that's bounced off that 61%, which is our key indicator, a key level of support on looking at Fibonacci retracements. So to understand how to trade this and other trading strategies, reference the links in the description below on the and subscribe to my Patreon page, where we look at also other strategies, but look at we do scans weekly on stocks, currencies, and commodities. If you have any questions to do any further analysis on any particular instrument, please go to that channel and you get more support from that area. And so subscribe, like, and share the channel. Thanks for watching, and see you in a future video.